Welcome to Small Talk with Kenya and Dawn. I'm Dawn.
And I'm Kenya.
So we are back with part two of accountability, which we touched on some other pretty good points the last time. So, but we're going to move into holding people accountable. How we can make sure that they're being held accountable, that we're doing our part and they're going to do their part. So, when we're hurt, or someone has hurt maybe our relative, someone else, no matter what it is, and that person does not want to be accountable. What should our conversation look like?
Ooh, should there be a conversation?
It should be a conversation. It should be a conversation. The reason I say is because, like we said the last time, if we allow people to continue and we do not approach it, we don't address it, it's going to continue.
What if we've had that conversation, or maybe I'm jumping ahead a little
Go ahead,
bit.
go ahead.
Stay right there. Let's stay right there with the initial conversation.
Okay.
Yes, 1000% agree. It needs to be an initial conversation because you need to know how I feel about the thing you did to me.
Correct.
I just don't understand when you've had the conversation and the conversation is still just not clear.
Yeah.
So
it's like sometimes people just don't get it.
Right.
So how do we make them get it? How do we make them get it? I think we make them get it because we have to introduce it back again. And let's introduce it maybe in a different way. To where maybe we've kind of skirted around the issue the first time, maybe we need to be a little bit more direct. And don't allow them to get that pass. And what is that? When you have an alt with your brother,
go make it right.
Bring it to them. And then if you don't get it right, you bring someone else back with you. And maybe that's what needs to happen during that case is, you know what, hey, you didn't hear me the first time. Let me bring it back around to you. To maybe someone else is going to explain it a little bit better. But what about this? Maybe they just refuse to receive it from the person that they hurt.
That's where I am.
Okay. Okay.
That's exactly, And you know the thing with that, it really is sad, especially, and I hear this term all the time and I just love it, our big age. And, you know, I always equate that to, I don't know if this is fair or not, but I equate it to people's actions.
Okay.
And I'm like, wow, you should be a little bit better by now. And the reason I say that, I used to say this to my kids and I said it every day, but it was just, it sounded good until I really understood it. Every day I'm trying to be better than I was yesterday.
Right.
Of course, we are not perfect.
No.
We are going to mess up. We're going to intentionally and unintentionally hurt people with our actions or our words. But when you just refuse to hear because you just have decided that you are right and you think you can name a few things that justify why you did it, still has nothing to do how that infliction made me feel.
Exactly. I completely agree with that. I just think it's really, honestly, it's just not fair.
It's not. It really isn't. And that's why it's so important to make sure that people are held accountable. Because it's almost as it is to me, and I hate to equate it this way, but if I go out and physically injure somebody on purpose,
right,
or unintentionally, I still have to apologize for my actions.
That's right.
So it's not fair. It's in the same way that God equates sin. There's no little sin or big sin.
Sin is sin.
Sin is sin. So if you hurt me, you don't get to measure how much hurt that is. I'm the person that felt it.
Yeah.
So you have to acknowledge that you did it. And when we are of specific ages, you know, I used to hear my grandparents say this, and Jesus, they used to say, closer to the end than I am the beginning.
Yes.
And I didn't know what it meant then. But now when I look at things and I'm like, Jesus, you know, Lord, I thank you for waking me up because you chose me again. Now, in the world we live in, age is really just a number. But if he continuously give us another opportunity, how can I feel like I have all the opportunities in the world to get right? I don't have to work towards being better today. But on Sunday, I'm going to get up and go to church. And I'm going to say, yes, the Lord did it. And he made a way. But you just talked to me like you was a different person. I have a problem with that. I do. And I hate that people are in that mindset. And you said something in the last episode. I don't think people understand how freeing it really feels to be an apologetic person and sincerely mean it.
Yes.
I don't think they understand that. It's almost as if they are bound in that thing. I gotta be who I am, and I gotta do it, and I gotta be right. That is so much of your energy. And even when you refuse to take accountability for it, it's gonna haunt you, not me.
Exactly. Okay, so let me ask this question. I know we came back and we were supposed to be talking about a little bit of something else, but oh gosh, what if you're trying to be accountable and someone won't allow you to be accountable?
Ooh. What is that?
What is that?
Wow.
What is that?
Do you think that's just somebody wanting to be miserable?
Exactly. You, at that point in time, you just want to be mad.
Right.
Because if I'm willing to be accountable for what I've said,
right,
I'm willing to acknowledge, okay, we're going through the process. I'm going to acknowledge what I said. I want to apologize for what I said or what I did. And I'm going to repent for what has transpired, whether it was on purpose or if it was accidental. But you don't want to receive it, and you still want to be angry about it. Does then your apology, first of all, I think you just want to be that you want to be mad. You really don't want the apology.
Right.
You just want to continue in chaos, because to me that's what it is. And you want to continue in unforgiveness. Does then your apology have an expiration date?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because in that situation, you just want to be right. And your right is not right.
Correct.
And your affliction on the other person hurt the other person, not just you. So, yes, I'm going to do my part. What's the scripture? Shake the dust off my feet.
Shake it off.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I think people want that. They want you to continuously apologize. And I think that makes them feel like that makes them right in a situation. I'm not giving you that power. I'm going to do my part. And that's the only part I'm responsible for.
Right. But do you know that even if that person won't accept your apology, do you know that you're still free?
Yes.
You are still free.
I don't think people understand that.
Because guess what? I'm going to go on living my life.
And not giving it two more thoughts.
Because I've done everything that I was supposed to do.
Right.
Not only did I do it, I didn't do it just because it was something that was a ritual or something that was you thought that I should do. I'm doing it out of sincerity.
Right.
I'm doing that from my heart because I mean it. I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, I'm doing it from my heart. I don't want to move forward or not. You ain't even moving forward at that point in time. You just stuck. I'm moving forward.
You are.
But you're stuck.
Still there.
You're stuck in your anger. You're stuck in your hate, in your unforgiveness.
Absolutely.
And guess what else? You are stuck in bondage. I don't want that.
I'm not having any part of that.
I do not want it. And I'm going to move on. Whether you choose to stay there and be stuck in that, what they call it, muck and miry clay. You stay in there. I'm free to walk.
Yeah.
I'm going on about my business, and I'm going to have an amazing life. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So even when you encounter those people, like you said, shake the dust off your feet, but you're around them or whatever. How do you navigate that? What do you think the best course of action to navigate around that person?
I'm gonna tell you, this is how I do navigate that. I act as if you're not even there. I'm cordial. If you ask me a question, I'm absolutely I'm not gonna be rude or mean. But you're gonna literally see the freeness in me.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna make me shy off into the corner. You're not gonna make me feel like I shouldn't be in the area. I'm gonna stand right there because all that stuff is yours. That's not mine.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna sit and smile. And I don't think it's being rude that you're doing it. I don't think you're trying to poke the bear, but I'm free.
Exactly.
I don't have anything or any reason to feel any other way.
Yeah, you're not gonna stick me with that.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna sit and be uncomfortable someplace.
No,
I'm not gonna do that. I've done everything that I could possibly do.
Right.
If you are unwilling to accept it, that's completely on you. Guess what? That's something you're gonna have to answer to, because I've already done what I'm supposed to do.
Right. And I've given you the opportunity to have a conversation with me. We could have cleared things up. But if you're only willing to hear yourself, then you sit over there and you start watching by yourself.
Yeah, but also that's gonna flip around, because now you need to be held accountable.
Right.
I've already done what I'm supposed to do. Now let's hold you accountable for your unforgiveness.
Right. And that is the other part, and that's why I say, I don't even know what it is, because you get that one good feeling of how things feel. You just want it again and again and again. And like I said earlier, just being so apologetic. But I'm also asking or saying, not asking. Listen now, if I say something outside of the scope that makes you feel a certain kind of way, let me know.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we get so excited about some of the things that we're talking about, we can be offensive to other people. So I'm not one of those people to kind of filter down a lot of what I say. And maybe I should give a disclaimer and say, please don't be offensive. This is just about me. Right. But because all the wrongs that I've made right, I did it so grudgingly in the beginning, and it was still hard. And when I learned to do it with an open heart and just pure forgiveness, it felt so good. It's just something that I'm grateful for the experience. But I just want everybody to know, because people think because they still sitting over there with their leg crossed and cutting nobody's paying you any attention. Don't nobody care. People just, let me speak for me. I'm sorry. Kenya just don't care. You can sit over there and pout like a toddler if you want to. I'm gonna walk right past you and probably ask how you doing. I'm just not doing it.
Oh my gosh! And what do they say? It's like heaping coals on their head, and that probably makes them even madder because
they boiling because
because you've moved on.
Yeah.
But like I said before, once you are truly free, you don't have those things.
No.
You're okay.
Yeah. That's it.
You're okay.
You're okay.
Yeah, I'm okay. I am great, honestly. I am great with saying I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm okay with saying, oh, I shouldn't have said that in that way.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have reworded it so that you weren't offended. I apologize for offending you.
Right.
But I did mean what I said. Maybe I just should have said it a different way so that it wasn't offensive to you. And if I did offend you, which you're saying I did offend you, not if I did, you're saying I offended you, I apologize for offending you.
Stay right there. Because when you repeat that and say, if.
Oh, yes. I said it because I hear it so much. If I did it, It's not if you did it.
You did.
And
I told you.
And that's why I asked the question, did I offend you?
Mm-hmm.
You offended me.
Yeah.
I apologize for offending you.
Right. Without an excuse. I was just wrong.
I was just
that
wrong.
simple. I was
Yeah.
just wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so many times it's the intent
Yeah.
behind what you say. And that's where a lot of people get into trouble.
Yeah.
It's the intent. Did you mean it with ill intentions?
Mm-hmm.
Did you mean it with constructive intentions?
Yeah.
Did you mean it with an intention of caring, intention of caring? You got to know how to differentiate, but you also have to know how to read the room.
Yeah.
I tell my husband all the time, know your demographic.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, you can't say the same thing, and you know he's so cautious of things that he says, you know, to people because he doesn't want to hurt people, he doesn't want to offend people. But you know, and I tell him, pay attention to you know who you are and you know your language, the verbiage that you use, so you know people are able to you know understand things and you know that you're not offensive to anyone.
Right.
So that's just a conversation that he and I have, but I just think it's important to know the intent behind something.
I think so too. I think that's the underlying problem because people have so many intentions and they're not always good. But I think the other thing that plays on that part of people who refuse to acknowledge or take accountability is control.
Go ahead, dig on deeper with that one.
I just think that, you know, sometimes we've been in control for a while. We've had to be the strong person. We've had to be all these different things that required us to really stand up straight and pay attention. So now we treat everything that way.
Can't be.
And you can't group everything together because you don't control everybody.
No.
And we have to be careful when we're dealing with adults.
That's right.
Because you can't, and I say this as respectful as I can, it doesn't matter what your title is. Because I'm still going to say, oh, you can't talk, you can't speak to me in that way. And I've had people say, well, who do you think you are? It's who I know I am. That you can't speak to me in that way.
Can't do that.
But that control I don't even want to say that. That control, I think they feel like they're protecting themselves with that. And I think people have got to learn that as much control as we think we have, we really don't. And that part would be so much easier and controllable if we just acknowledge the wrong that we do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so we got to pause again now. We got to take a pause here. I don't think we covered everything what we were supposed to cover I don't think we did in this part 2, but that's okay.
Okay.
Because we talked about the age, right? The big age, what we like to say. When you reach a certain age, that you should be doing things a little bit differently than what you did before. But also what I want to talk about next is the younger age, that younger group, and having them with their accountability and what they possibly learned from that older group.
Okay.
I want to talk about that because anyway, we're going to come back to it. But again, please like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video, hit that notification bell so that you know when Small Talk with Kenya and Dawn comes on and premieres, which is every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. So until then, have a great day.